first things first. According to astronomers, the Earth is actually spinning faster than ever before. And because of that, it recently set the record for the shortest day ever. Yeah, June 29th was apparently 1.59 milliseconds shorter than a normal day. Yeah. And that's how you know things are going bad. Even the Earth is like, all right, let's wrap this up. Let's go. Let's keep things moving. Let's keep things going. 1.59 milliseconds faster. I mean, you do know what this means, right? We'll get to leave work 1.59 milliseconds earlier. Yeah, baby! I'm gone! It also gives people a great excuse if they get pulled over. It's just like, sir, have you been drinking? No, the Earth is spinning super fast, man. It's making me dizzy, man. Then why aren't we all dizzy? I'm too drunk to answer that question. Meanwhile, in environmental news, a man in Utah has been arrested for accidentally starting a 60-acre wildfire while trying to burn a spider with a cigarette lighter. And yes, this sounds terrible, but I bet that spider learned his lesson. You learned that, spider. In entertainment news, Brad Pitt wore a skirt to his latest movie premiere, and when he was asked why he did it, he said, quote, "We're all going to die, so let's just have some fun before we get out." Yeah, and I love that. What an inspirational way to say it's laundry day. It's also been like 200 degrees outside every day. The question isn't why is Brad Pitt wearing a skirt, it's why isn't every guy wearing a skirt? Are you kidding me? Have you felt how hot it is out there? Got the fabric on both sides, everything is cooped up. You walk outside and you spend 5 minutes in this weather. Before you know it, you're walking around with 2 lightly poached eggs in your pants. Gotta let it breathe. This is a wild story. In travel news, Airbnb has announced that it will no longer allow people to list former slave cabins as vacation rentals after one listing caused an uproar online. And this must be one of those things that's probably white people. I mean, no, because as a black person, there's no way I'm vacationing in a slave cabin. I don't care if it's a former slave cabin. I don't care if it's renovated. There's no black person who's like, yeah, this is where I want to spend my vacation. So good for Airbnb. I will say this, if I owned Airbnb, I wouldn't cancel these listings. I would say, yeah, you can stay there if you want, but you're gonna have to have the real experience. Yeah. Just surprise those people, barge into the cabin at 6 a.m. like, here's your basket, fill it up! Well, whip your ass. I just wanted to see what it was like. Well, now you're seeing. But anyway, let's move on to some of the bigger news stories of the day. First up, yesterday we had another round of primary elections in America. And I'm just gonna say this country has too many elections, all right? Yeah, every week, it's like, it's time to vote, but we voted last week. No, that was the vote to vote for who we're voting for this week. Then we'll vote on when we'll vote for the next vote. Vote, vote, votey, vote, 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 vote. So let's check in on the results of these votes in our ongoing coverage of Vote-demic 2022. So, last night was a very good night for Donald Jigglypuff Trump. In Michigan, his candidate defeated a Republican who voted to impeach him. In Arizona, his candidates won the primaries for Senate and Secretary of State. And in Missouri, the Eric he endorsed beat the other Eric that he endorsed. Yeah, it was the best night for Trump he's had that didn't end with someone signing an NDA. And these Arizona races could have national implications because these Republicans, you have to understand, the ones who are winning now, they all believe in crazy conspiracy theories about Biden stealing the election in 2020. So if they win the final races, they could end up in charge of counting the votes in 2024. And I don't know about you, but I know for certain I do not trust them with that job. Can you imagine what it'll be like? All right, another vote for Trump. That's a Trump vote. That's a Trump. Yeah, I saw that. That was Trump. What you doing there? That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. I'm counting. That's Trump as well. Yeah, put it in. That's it. Trump again. What was? Look at that. That person spelled Trump wrong. He said B-I-D-E-N. That's not how you spell Trump. They spelled it wrong. That's all right. What's the final tally? What's that? Trump 1 bazillion, Biden minus 10. I think I did a good job. Don't say I didn't warn you. Now, there is there is some good news. Other than the Trump virus spreading through the Republican Party like Vecna, last night was actually a really good night for anyone who believes a woman should have a right to choose what happens in her own body. And it's all thanks to Kansas.
In conservative Kansas this morning, a political earthquake and a big win for abortion rights supporters. Kansas voters rejecting an amendment that would have removed abortion protections from the state constitution. In effect, keeping access to the procedure there.
The turnout on a 100-degree day in the middle of summer was 53%. Historically high. They've never seen anything like this. This is Barack Obama's numbers.
Our state stood up and said no. We're the first ones to say no, so I'm overjoyed.
Wow, Kansas, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations, Kansas. It's moments like these I wish I knew which one of these states you were. But either way, congratulations. No, for real though, for real. This is a huge pro-choice victory. And it's especially amazing that it happened in Kansas, a state so red that Trump won it by 14 points. Yeah, no one expected this. This was a bigger shock than when Batgirl found out that her real nemesis is the CEO of Warner Brothers. And this is where you realize as well, the anti-abortion views of right-wing lawmakers and some people on the Supreme Court, they don't mirror what actual Americans want, right? It's not accurate. And that's a huge problem in this country. It's like letting the craziest dude in your friend group plan your bachelor party. You're gonna be like, I just wanted to play beer pong. How did we end up in a Bangkok prison? Not cool, Samuel. Oh, and speaking of earth-shattering news, Beyoncé is changing her album again. Yeah, first, she took out the word spaz from a song because some people complained that it was ableist, right? And now she's removing a sample from one of her other songs because Khalees complained that she didn't get any credit from it. And look, I get what Beyoncé is doing. It's very nice. But I also should point out, this could turn into a major disaster. Because you realize now, depending on when you listen to the album, you could be hearing completely different songs. Yeah, it's just gonna change. You don't even know what the thing's gonna be. Like I heard, you won't break my soul. And then someone else is like, you won't score a goal. Someone else is like, someone check this mole. You don't know. Can you imagine the chaos this is gonna cause? Yeah, the next time you're at a Beyoncé concert, Beyoncé's gonna be like, everyone sing along. We're gonna be like, we can't. Which version? Ah! Oh, and because Beyoncé is now taking requests, Monica Lewinsky sent out a tweet basically saying, what about removing her name in one of Beyoncé's old songs, Partition? All right, it's a song where Beyoncé sang, he Monica Lewinsky'd all on my gown. Yeah, and I mean, I think we can all see why Monica wouldn't want that in the song. And for me personally, I also think Beyoncé should change it in the song, because it's not right. Technically, it should be, he Bill Clinton'd on my gown. Because that's the guy who did all the jizzing. You gotta remember who did the thing. I'm not saying Beyoncé did anything wrong. I'm just saying, Beyoncé, you have to understand with the way American schools teach history, your songs might be the only way children learn. It needs to be accurate, Beyoncé, please. So whether you agree with it or not, Beyoncé has made her choice, and good for her. In fact, you know what I think? They should say some artists have to be forced to do it. Beyoncé was nice, some artists have to be forced. Yeah, like R. Kelly. Yeah, part of his sentence should be that he has to go back and redo all of his old songs. Because age is not just a number. Yeah, we want him back in the studio. My mind's telling me no, and now my body understands why it's a no. My body completely understands. My body completely understands. Oh, and speaking of people who wish they could go back and change the past, Alex Jones, far right-wing commentator and man who makes Donald Trump look like a reasonable human being, is currently on trial for spreading lies about the Sandy Hook shooting, right? Saying that it was all a hoax. And today in the trial, one of the funniest moments came when he found out that his inept lawyer had screwed up and sent the prosecution evidence that proved Alex Jones committed perjury.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, Your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I mean, I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones.
Oh shit, that was funny. Oh man, I like how he was so shocked he started turning into every emoji. He was like, at one point he even tried to give himself COVID. Do you see that? I can't speak. You know the disease I said is fake? Yeah, I got it now, I got it. You know you're in trouble when the truth chokes you up like you on an episode of Hot Ones, you know, with those spicy wings. It's like, I'm sorry, what did I say? But you realize this moment is huge, right? Because it shows that Alex Jones probably committed perjury, which means Alex Jones lies about stuff. Yeah, I know, that's shocking, because now I'm starting to wonder, does that mean chemtrails from planes aren't turning the frogs gay? Was that also a lie? And by the way, where did he get that lawyer? Can we just talk about that? Because you see how the lawyer's just sitting there like... I would love to be there for that classic lawyer-client conversation during recess, and we're just standing together, so how do you think it's going? It's like, well, apart from the fact that I screwed this whole thing up worse than any lawyer in history, I think we still have a shot. All right, that's it for the headlines, but before we go to a quick break, let's check in on the stock market with our very own finance expert, Michael Costa, everybody! Michael, the markets are crazy, man.
Yeah.
What's happening in the market today?
I'm crushing it, man. I'm crushing it. I'm like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker because I'm in Crush Hour 2, ladies and gentlemen. All right?
You always say this, Costa.
And I got a hot tip for you. You want to make some money like Costa makes money? All right? I got a hot tip for you, so pay attention, all right? So what we got here is the last 5 months, the gasoline price. Actually, do you mind? That story about the Airbnb slavery story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, look, they shouldn't be renting that out, but I appreciate them being honest, you know? Every time I rent an Airbnb, they're not honest about the pictures. You said it was a 2-bedroom quaint apartment. I didn't know quaint meant haunted, okay? Let's be honest, Airbnb is just catfish for a house, okay? Look, I don't want to sleep where slavery happened. I prefer a hotel. I'd rather sleep where lifeless, middle-aged, missionary-positioned sex happened, but... This is terrible. I mean, marketing off of slavery, that's not cool. Right. Using slavery to make a buck, exploiting suffering, that's why I don't use Airbnb. Instead, Trevor, I'm a slave to bargainhotels.net. Book a bargain today. What? Let's get to the chart, okay? So, Trevor, these are the gas... Actually, that other story about the Earth spinning. The Earth's spinning so fast. I'm a financial expert. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure this is happening because of the large population in Asia, okay? Think about it. If one part of the Earth is a lot heavier than the other, when the Earth spins, okay, spinning, gets to Asia, wham, whip. Gets to Asia, whip. Think about it. Think about it.
You know what? You're right. You're not a scientist. Just tell us what's happening in the markets, Costa.
This is the price of gasoline over the last 5 months, and it's been a wild ride, okay? I mean, reminds me of the last time I took ayahuasca and went on the C train, okay? I mean, those Showtime guys, I thought they were my father, okay? But look, here's the good news, all right? The price of gas is back down. Now, the bad news is that as gasoline gets cheaper, arson is gonna go up, okay? It's just so much cheaper to commit arson now. Even I've been thinking about it more, okay? Trevor, between us guys, all right, it leaves no evidence, you get the insurance money, and it kills all the spiders. All right, hot tip? I promised you a hot tip, all right? Booking a hotel room can feel like a lot of labor. Ease the burden with bargainhotels.net. Tell them Costa sent you.
Do not tell them Costa anything. Michael Costa, everybody.